It's Taxi Vlog 352 coming at you on Wednesday, the 8th of April 2015. This is Victoria, British Columbia in Canada on a beautiful spring sunny day. I would usually be doing this tomorrow on Thursday, but I'm a day early and I have a bit of a story to tell. On Monday I came out. That was only yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Monday I came out and it was relaxed. It was easygoing. I got to see a lot of videos and work was going okay. Can't complain about how it went. It ended up being quite steady after midnight, and I took home a reasonable amount of money for a Monday night, which was okay. Tuesday I came out again, and it was looking real slow at the beginning. But around 10 o'clock, or just before 10, it started picking up and getting better. And I ended up breaking even, well, before midnight. So it was going okay. I had about 130 on by midnight. And then I got a call on my cell phone. Now I answered that call. It was something like, hey, do you remember me? I took you to the casino last week and you picked me up and brought me home. How soon can you get here? Well, I'm just dropping off a customer right now. I'm not too far from the mall. I can be there in about 12 minutes. So I dropped off my customer. My customer went their merry way, and I rushed on over to this guy's place to pick him up. Now, when we were on the phone, he says, "Well, what are you going to call me when you get here, or do I just come outside?" I said, "I will be there in 12 minutes." Well, I was there in 11. And I was waiting there in the driveway and waiting and looking at the front door, and he ended up coming from the other side, from the back. And he got in the cab, and I explained to him why I didn't call him, because I don't have his number. He says, "Well, don't you have call display?" I said, "No, I don't have a lot of stuff on my phone." He said, "I'm gonna call you." Well, he says, "Mine is unlisted, so I'm gonna call you so that you got my number again." And he's asking his phone how to make it show up that I have make his number show up on my phone when he calls. And then he couldn't make it work, and he couldn't believe I didn't have call display. He says, "Well, what if you have regular customers and they call you and you want to know who's calling?" I said, "Not a lot of people call me. Most people don't call me. I use this phone mostly for calling people to come out of the house. And most people who I give my phone number to never call me back anyway," which is actually just the way I like it. I like to keep a professional distance from my customers. I don't want to get entangled in their bullshit. But this guy tips so well that, well, you know, okay, he's got my number, I got his number to call him back when I get there, and it's just whatever. So he told me he's going across town, and he wants to go by this way, that way, and the other way. He told me each and every street he wanted to take. And as we were going, every time there was a turn, he said, well, we got to turn there. I said, yep, got it. So we kept going. And he told me a big part of his life story while we were driving out there, and he was complaining about his fucked up family and how his family was fucked up and how he grew up dirt poor and how he slept on the floor until he was 12 years old. Kinds of stuff like this. And he was telling me about technology and with the phones, what you can do with phones today. And he said, you know, I put an LOL on there. I said, yeah, I've been on the internet for 23 years. I just don't like screwing with phones. I'd rather have a full screen in front of me. But, you know, I do use my phone to watch videos because I can. And I don't have to carry a whole computer around. Even though I do have a computer, it's being used by Cindy right now. And, I don't like traffic at this time. It's early in the shift. And there's all this traffic going past me. So, he asks me, when we get to our destination, how long will you be on tonight? Well, it was just after 1 o'clock. And I told him, I would be out here until 6. So I'll probably be calling you in about an hour. So the girl doesn't like anyone to stay overnight. Well, it is 1 in the morning already. I'm imagining this is a booty call of some kind. So he's $35 on the meter, and I know that I could have done it for under 30 going my way, but we took his way. And if he wants to go that way, that's fine with me. $35 on the meter, he gives me $50. He says, are we okay? I said, well, yeah, thank you. That's a very generous tip. As he knows it is. And he said, so, you going to be hanging around? And I said, well, you know, I don't know where I'm going to be when you call. I hope you don't mind. It might take a while because I could be far away when you call. But, yeah, I should be able to make it. As long as it's before 6. So my phone was running out of power. I had about 9% left at 3 o'clock. Because I was watching videos on my phone. I was doing YouTube on my phone and making comments and, you know, watching stuff. So I shut off the phone when it was at 9%. Or should I say, I stopped watching videos on it and I started reading my book again. I haven't made much progress since last week because I've been busy Thursday night, Friday night. And on Monday night I was watching videos, and much of last night I was watching videos too, but at this point I was reading my book. And that was okay. So I went through my night, I finished my shift at 5:45. I went and washed the car, vacuumed it out and cleaned the mats, and went to fuel up. I fueled it up and I parked it. And then I went to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription because I ran out of Ramipril. Now, Ramipril is a drug that is given to people for high blood pressure, which has never been my problem, but I'm on a very small dose just to protect my kidneys from high blood sugar. Apparently it protects the kidneys from damage. So, you know, I take that stuff. So with pharmaceuticals in hand, I'm leaving the pharmacy, and I forgot to go to the bank because I had something else on my mind. And just as I'm pulling out of the parking lot of the pharmacy, my phone rings. Okay, I answer it. So, can you come and get me now? And I said, I'm sorry. I parked it already. It's after 6. But can you come and get me? I said, no, I can't. I'm on my way home. I'll pay you. Come and get me. No, I'm sorry. I parked the cab already. And I have an appointment to get to. I cannot come and get you. Sorry, man. Okay. Now, there are reasons why I don't like doing personals. The only reason I was doing this guy personal because he tipped really well. And in the past, I've had experiences where personal calls, where you become someone's driver, is just an imposition. Like, don't be calling me when I'm on my way home. I've already parked the cab. I'm not at work anymore. But they expect you to go out of your way for them when you're their personal driver. I could tell you stories of how I did not take personals for many years, and I was only doing this guy a favor because he insisted and because he tipped well. But don't be calling me and expecting me to come and get you when I'm off duty. I have a life too, you know. I'm not going to drop everything just because you want to go home. There are dozens of cabs on the road in town at any time of day or night. Why does it have to be me? I know I'm good. I know I'm accommodating. I know I'm polite. I know I'm not an asshole. I kind of take pride in giving good service. But going beyond my mission statement, or if it doesn't fit my job description, yeah, okay, I'll go get this. If it doesn't fit my job, just come on, pass me. Pass me, pass me, pass me, pass me. Okay, that's going to be a clusterfuck up there. I'm going to go through this parking lot. Maybe. Maybe it won't be. I don't know. It's going to be stupid either way to go get this guy. Traffic. It's still early. It's only 6:24 and it's a sunny day. And why are all these cars on the road? Crikey. Anyways, if the phone rings again, should I answer it? Or yeah, well, I asked Cindy, you know. It's like this guy makes you feel obligated to him, and I hate that. I don't want to be obligated to anybody. I'm my own boss. I don't work for a boss for that reason. And now the guy's treating me like I'm his fucking slave. So anyhow, I suppose, well, I asked Cindy what she thought, and she said, well, you know, if the guy calls again, by all means go get him, but don't go out of your way to go get him when you're not on duty. And it's like, yeah, you know, I think after I've spent 12 hours in a car, I've done my thing for the day. This is awkward. I'll talk to you later. Okay, it's Friday morning at 3:29, and the Wednesday night was a long, slow, drawn out shift. There were long waits in between calls, and what really saved my night was that in the morning hours I had a couple of longer fares that went a good distance. One guy was at the veterinary hospital, and he had a sick ferret, and I guess the ferret was feeling better, and so I took them out to the Western Communities. And earlier than that, I had a couple of longer fares that went a good distance that saved me. But the waits in between all the fares were really long. I went to sleep probably about 3 times that Wednesday night. And I took home a reasonable, I'd say a reasonable amount of money. I was just glad that Wednesday night was over when it was over. And in the morning, Cindy's been experiencing some car trouble, so I went down to the garage to get something repaired on the car, and they didn't have a loaner car for me yesterday, well, on Thursday, but they will on Friday, which is Friday morning now, so it's 3:30 in the morning, so I guess at 7:30 they will have a loaner car for me, so I can leave the car with them for the day, and then we got a car to use in the meantime. Long, complicated, stupid, whatever. Tonight, this is the Thursday night I'm talking about, was a weird one, in that I came out and I waited an hour for my first call. Then, for the next 2.5 hours, from 7:30 till 10 o'clock, I got my lease and fuel on in 2.5 hours. And it was an expensive lease. It was a $110 lease, and fuel was it's going to be another $10 or $12 or something like that. I had $120 something on in those 2.5 hours. It was one right after another. No matter where I went, I connected and had another call, and connected and had another call. And once I had that money on by 10:30 or 10 o'clock, I wasn't too far from home, so I went home for an hour and hung out with Cindy, and we sort of had a discussion about something. Then at around 11, I came back out here, and I waited. Let me check just so I got my facts right. I waited an hour. I waited half an hour for my first call, and it was taking these girls downtown to a nightclub. Loud young girls, having done some pre-drinking. Yeah, I guess they did some pre-drinking. They were pre-drunk. And then after I dropped them off, I waited 2 hours for my next one, which was just a $10 fare. And then I waited almost another hour for this last one. Now this was an interesting little call. I was sent to a building that used to be a motel, and it's now low-income housing. So it's an old motel basically, but it's low-income housing. And I picked up these 2 young women who were going for a ride out into the western communities, and they wanted to do a flat rate. Now I told them I do not do flat rates, but they said, but we're going back. So I said, how long are you going to be when you're there? She said, about 10 minutes. And I said, well, yeah, I can wait 10 minutes. And the other one in the back seat said, and you can pause the clock during that time? I said, yeah, I suppose for 10 minutes I can do that, but if you're going to be half an hour, no, I can't do that. And how about a flat rate? I said, no, I can't do a flat rate, but what I can do is I can take you out there for what's on the clock, and to bring you back, I can make it double minus the $3.25 drop to get into the car. When we were out there, it was like $26.35, and that would have worked out to $47.45 for the grand total. Well, we came back into town and we didn't go quite as far as our initial place where we started, so it worked out to $46.05. Still $46 for 1 hour. Yeah, okay, I'll take the $46 for 1 hour. What it was is basically, when we were waiting outside of this house, the one girl went in to, she was a call girl naturally, and she went in to get some guy's rocks off. It took about 13 minutes for her to do so. And then we were waiting outside for her, and then she came back out, and then I drove them back into town. The whole thing from start to finish was about 50 minutes, taking them out there, her doing her business, and bringing them back. So now it's 3:26 in the morning. What's going on here? I'm 4th in the zone. Who's 3rd? Oh, okay. Now I'm 4th in the zone. It's, except for that 2.5 hours where I was really lucky, it's been a pretty dead night. I've got about 2.5 hours to go, and who knows what's going to happen in that time. I guess I'll watch another episode of Weird or What on YouTube with William Shatner. I've been getting into these things over the last week or so, and I've still got my big monster book to read, so I should be well entertained for the next 2.5 hours until the end of the shift. I don't expect a lot of business. I guess I'll get back to you tomorrow, Saturday morning, to let you know how the Friday night went. It's Saturday morning, it's 4:22. The Friday night started out kind of slowly. I think I waited a good 45 minutes until I got my first call. and it was kind of slow and sluggish to get started, and so it didn't really it was slow and sluggish to get started. And then at around 10 o'clock I checked where I was at, and I was doing relatively okay, such that by midnight or 12:30 or so I had a couple hundred on, which was rather good. I did quite a few short fares that didn't go very far. And at one point, I dropped off downtown, and somebody else got in right away. And I took her into James Bay. And at another point, I dropped someone off downtown and picked up this guy who had just been to his own stag party. And he was pissed to the gills, so I took him home. And my luck downtown was like that, where I took somebody downtown and got somebody else right away. Well, this time, just at around 1 o'clock, I took this woman downtown, and after dropping her off, somebody else asked if they could get in, and I said, sure, certainly. It was a young couple that went out to Langford, to the Western Communities, and it worked out to be, it was a good fare. I got $50 for that one. Wonderful. So I was at nearly the $300 mark, and it didn't hurt me one bit. I wasn't bothered by that. And so I went into the parking lot where I usually sit and wait. And I waited and I waited. And I watched a YouTube video. I was watching a YouTube video and fell asleep because I had my seat somewhat reclined and the phone was on my chest here, and I don't know, the voice on the video was kind of droning and hypnotizing me into sleep. So I fell asleep watching a YouTube video. I think maybe, yeah. So I fell asleep watching a YouTube video. Then I woke up when my MDT beeped at me. I woke up when my MDT beeped at me, and so I picked up these people in the zone where I was working, and they went up into zone 88 for like a $13 fare. And my luck must have been going really good, because they gave me for $13 a $20 bill and said keep the change. And then I was heading back to the highway to go back into my part of town, but I got a call further out from town, but not much further out. It was a time call for 15 minutes away. I had a hard time finding the house because the numbers were not on the house, but all the numbers on the surrounding properties seemed to match to make that house the one to go to. And the light was on. So I went there. And it was a trip. This delightful young woman was going out to the airport. I'm turning off the lights because I suspect there is a police car sitting on the side road out here. Oh yes, there he is. He's sitting right there. And he's watching to see if someone is speeding on this highway, or if somebody has their interior lights on. I think I'm safe now. I'm far away. There. Okay. So we got past the cop. That was the only cop I saw on the way up. I'm coming back from the airport, by the way, after dropping off that delightful young woman. Oh, she was a pretty one, too. So she was going to Calgary for the weekend. It being Saturday morning, she's flying to Calgary, and then tomorrow she flies back. So cool. A short little trip. Is that a policeman too? Fuck. I don't know. I don't think so. Well, even if it is, he's going the other way. What's he going to do to me? There are so many police around that they're making me paranoid. Anyways, considering that it was a slow Friday night, I've done well. I have an hour left to go. I'm going to go sit in a parking lot and watch a YouTube video. I might get another call that takes me somewhere long, and if I don't get one like that, this will be the end of this video, and I hope yours is better than mine. Cindy wants to go car shopping in the morning because we had a little tiny minor problem with the car, but she's tired of bending down to get into the vehicle, and it's hurting her knees, and she's sick and tired of it, and so she wants to cash in some. She's got some money coming her way, let's put it that way. And she wants to buy another van because she misses the van so much. So she wants to go car shopping in the morning. So there's no rest for me, which is the wicked. I said it before and I'll say it again. Hope yours is better than mine.